Given the opportunity, people will try to build an entire personality and self esteem off someone else's carcass because that's just how low we'll go. We're going to talk a little bit more about the TV show Silo from Apple TV. And we're going to talk a little bit maybe about you, but certainly someone you know, right after this intro. And welcome back to another episode of the Daily Donna with me, your host, Dr. Donna Oriello, sex and relationship therapist in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And today we're getting deep with it. And really, it's is it not that deep? sort of conversation. You know how people will tell you, oh, it's not that deep. Just watch the thing, enjoy the thing, see the thing. You know that, right? Right. So in this one, we're talking basically about how actually it is as deep as you're willing to go, as deep as your mental prowess will take you. And I'm also saying it's not that deep in the sense of if you want to tussle with somebody in the comments, you won't be tussling with me. I don't fight. Okay. We are just going to have a quick conversation. Now, this is going to be for the most part, a spoiler free conversation. Yes, it is. Now, for those of you who have not seen Silo on Apple TV, it is basically about a society that is in, well, a silo. There are several hundreds of floors. We're talking about people who live up top, the people who live in the middle, and the people that live in the down deep. And why am I bringing up silos specifically? Because given the opportunity, despite the fact that all of you live in a silo, you will still find something arbitrary to build an entire personality off of. I live on 100. I'm not from the down deep. Baby, you still live in a silo. Right? It's the idea that some people are better than others while having some level of understanding that all jobs actually help the collective, right? If you take out the garbage, you're not less than somebody else, because if you didn't take out the garbage, then it would be filthy, and that filth helps to spread disease, and then people die, right? If you're a mechanic from the down deep, they're like, oh, I'm better than that. I'm literally above it. But they keep the lights on. The people down there in the down deep. Here's the thing that I wanted to make sure that I say early. Self-esteem built on arbitrary accolades is doomed to fail. And most of our accolades are mad freaking arbitrary. And that's the thing that I don't think that we always sit in and understand. Like, have you ever met a person who went to Harvard who didn't tell you so? Harvard is always my little example, if only because they will always tell you that they went to Harvard. Why? Let's consider the why. Why are they telling you? Because it offers some level of social capital. It offers you an idea of a level of exclusivity, because it is an exclusive place to get into, and because we have been erroneously taught that the people who went to Harvard are the smartest among us. Not the ones that are the most connected, not sometimes the whitest among us, not the lucky people who were able to get in or anything of that nature, right? So then some people will tell you that they went to Harvard because it is a matter of fact. Other people will tell you they went to Harvard as a matter of their self-esteem, a matter of their worth, and because they are asking you to see them in that light and give them respect unearned just off the name of the school alone. That to me is worrisome, because people do the same thing with their jobs. Some people, quiet as it's kept, build an entire personality off being light-skinned. Some men have an entire personality off earning six figures or being 6 feet, right? Some people's entire personality is that they got a snatched body and a cute face, right? And I'm like, you know what? Don't let me steal your shine. If these are things that you enjoy about yourself, you should enjoy them. And you should probably be the one to question yourself about why are these the things that you must throw into a conversation so that other people can know where you stand within it, right? Like I watched a video the other day, and someone had already admonished this creator, so I will not even bother to put a name or anything else up here. But she was giving advice on for Black women with kinkier, curlier, or coilier hair, right? And in the middle of whatever she was saying, she had to stop and say, "But I'm light skinned." What does that have to do with the price of kente cloth in Nigeria? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with the cost of gas at the corner store or at the corner gas station? What does it have to do with anything? Why did you even feel the need? We can see you, girl. We can see you. It's a video. Now, it makes me consider all the times that somebody had to say that they were this other thing. Why are we working so hard to separate ourselves from the other? Why are we playing the game of creating entire personalities and self-esteems off not being, oh, I'm not that? And I recognize that a lot of it has to do with the white supremacist delusion, but not just that they are enemies of progress, but that some of us are also agents of this same chaos. We believe ourselves to be sometimes disruptors, but our disruption includes consistently doing the things to separate ourselves from other people because we want to feel better than. Some things should be a signaler to say, here's something that I am, like if someone says they're an astrophysicist, that's a signaler. That is not intended, or at least not in the way that I would see it, in a way to make you feel small, but to say, hey, I'm an astrophysicist. This is something that I do. Here is something that I know based on astrophysics, the astrophysics that I've studied, right? That's different. When I tell you that I'm a sex and relationship therapist, it's to give you an idea of my knowledge set. When I tell you that I am a doctor, or when anyone else tells you that they are a doctor, well, some people, it is their entire personalities. Me, I'm Donna Oreo, regardless. But for some people, it is their personalities. And yet it also is supposed to be an indicator, right? Like that they have done X work or what have you. Now, my intention is not to get hung up specifically on Harvard or anything. It's just an example, right? Within this silo, they literally have hierarchies based off where you live, despite the fact that they will even say that everybody in the silo has a job, that everybody's job is important, that everybody must work. And that the work helps the whole. So there's a recognition that the thing that each person does helps the whole. And there's also a desire, such a deep desire for a personal prestige and to separate oneself from the herd by looking down your nose at what someone else has been assigned to do or what someone else has an aptitude for. And I'm trying to figure out why, right? And it was a conversation that me and Mr. Boothang were having about silo that then got extrapolated beyond silo, because the same thing that happens in silo is, us. The silo for us is called planet Earth, and we have arbitrarily designated some people as being better than other people. We have designated people who have more money as being smarter. Why? They're not smarter. They're not smarter. They have more. They may not know more. They may know something in a specific sect, but almost none of them will tell you about the level of luck that also played in, timing that also played in, that there were a bunch of things that seemed to align at the right time for them, right? They won't talk about that part, but they'll make it seem like they are simply skilled. Some of them will even forget that maybe their skin tone or that their manliness or something else, or even just the lottery of their birth had anything to do with some of the successes that they have experienced in their life, while you sit back and believe them better, or believe them to be your better because they were born to the right parents at the right time in the right decade. I find myself, my flappers are gasted. And my flappers are gasted because not only does it work in the way of who thinks themselves better than other people, but also in how we then see ourselves in relation to them. You think that they are better than you because they have more than you. Have more is not worth more. They're not the same thing. And yet, we still believe that because someone has more money, has more properties, has more help, has more whatever, that this person is better than somebody else. I mean, a while ago, one of your favorites said that, people are lazy and they just don't want to work, while not even recognizing like that everyone doesn't have the same 24 hours in a day. Because if you bought 8 hours of my time, I work 9 to 5 for you, then you got your 24 plus 8 of mine. How many hours did you end up with? 32? It's like, come on now. Like, you bought my hours. And we're constantly doing that. We're buying and selling hours among each other because someone knows something that someone else doesn't know. And yet somehow we don't see how the people that we say are lowly or are nothing in a society are actually the very ones to keep things spinning. Like what? We're in this silo together, but some people are literally building entire personalities off I'm better than you because I'm X and you're not. Here's one that I like to talk about. Some white folks' personality is I'm white, right? And that is the thing that makes them supreme. Why is that the thing that makes them supreme? And no one can ever really answer this question. What is the thing that makes them supreme? Because they said so. A person who does not know who they are cannot actually, truly esteem themselves. What they can do is look at what they have that you have not and use it as a way to build themselves up to say that they're better than you. That is the purpose for a lot of people in collecting some of these things like their little stars, because they need a way to separate themselves from you so that they can feel bigger than you, because otherwise they don't have anything else to shine on, right? If the only thing that makes you special is that someone else is beneath you, then baby, I hate to break it to you, you're not special. This is, I think, part of the reason why, number one, so many men are in like the loneliness pandemic is hitting everybody, but it is hitting, I would say, men hardest. Part of the reason it's hitting men hardest is because they've been told all their lives, like, to never be a girl, right? That to be a girl, to be associated with womanhood and any of the penchants of womanhood, including things like, I don't know, emotions, that these things make them womanly and thus less valuable, right? So for some men, their entire personality is I'm a man. And so because they're a man, they know what they're not a woman. That's the only thing that they don't know what they are. They don't know who they are. They know what they're not. They're not women. For some white folk, it's the same thing. They don't know who they are on their own as a separate entity. They just not black. Some light people, it's not that they know what they are. Again, they know what they're not. They're not dark. The rich are not poor. Pick your separation. Pick your ism. Pick your space. Somebody is separating off these things. And sometimes it's the entirety of what they have to offer. There's nothing else there. And the reason that there's nothing else there is because they don't have to learn what it means to be this outside of the entity of anything else. If I don't know what it means to be a man outside of women, if I don't know what it means to be white outside of black people, if I don't know what it means to be rich outside of poor people, if I don't know what it means to be high outside of low, then I don't know anything. There's no self-concept. I do not know me if the only thing I know is that I'm not you. And if that is all there is nothing to esteem, which means you must maintain the status quo of being something not. You have to make sure that you are not woman, that you are not poor, that you are not low, that you are not dark, that's all it is. And so people are creating a hierarchy so that they can feel they have something to shine on. And there is nothing more vacant than that in a self-esteem. Some people might say that that's fragile, right? And you could, right? So for those of you who have not read my lovely book, Drink Water and Mind Your Business, A Black Woman's Guide to Healing, to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem, this is some of the BS that I'm talking about. Some of this BS is number one, that self-esteem is on the binary, that you have it or you don't have it. I would say that it is on a spectrum, not on a binary. Most things are not on actual binary. And living that black and white life is also kind of limiting your thoughts. So expand. But where it comes to self-esteem, the spectrum is secure self-esteem on one end, vacant self-esteem on the other. So the ones that you already know, but somewhere in the middle is damaged and fragile self-esteems. A person who doesn't know who they are cannot esteem themselves, which means that they are esteeming what they have that you don't have. Having things does not mean you are worth more, right? You're not worth less because you have less. Not so, and the same thing works in reverse, which means that they only are valuing the things, the accolades, etc., that they have collected. They do not like who they are because they don't know who they are. They know what they aren't, which is not the same thing. Away, as I have said multiple times, is not a destination. I want to go away from here. Where do you want to go? What is the destination you are trying to get to? Sometimes away serves its initial purpose to get away from whatever this thing is. It gives you an opportunity to look outside so that you can determine where you want to go. But if all you ever have is away, the away being, I don't want to be a woman, the away being, I don't want to be dark, the away being, I don't want to be black, I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be stupid, whatever that away is, it doesn't tell you where you're going. It tells you what you're afraid of being. And that, I think, is where your deepest work would need to be. What is it that scares you about these things that you have decided you are not? What is it about these things that are here that you have built an entire personality from? To say that I am better than this thing, what is it about these things that make you want to run away with both feet? What is it? What is it that who said it? Because most of us will find the same people at the root of the foolishness that we are trying our best to run away from. The thing that make us have to say that, but I'm light skinned. The thing that makes you have to say, but I'm this, right? You're not adding context to the conversation. You're creating a divider between you and others, and you need to think about why you're creating that divider. Why this accolade has to be your personality. I'm not talking about the simple kiki talking about what you got and what you don't got and the education that you have or that you don't have or anything. I'm not talking about your regular stuff. I'm talking about people who build an entire personality off I'm not. They built an entire system of supremacy off I'm not. Come on now. I'm not a woman. That's a whole system. I'm not black. That's a whole system. And I think that that's where the work is. I also think that that is why there's been such contention and why there's such a feeling not only of loneliness, but also such a deep internalized shame. Shame is something is wrong with me. Guilt is I did something wrong. And there's both from these people who I would say are particularly in positions of power, feeling the shame. And I think that the real shame is that these people that I have subjugated, these people that I have looked down upon, these people that I think less of, they continue to achieve regardless of every impediment that I put in their place or put in their way. That they continue to achieve, that they should rise up from the down deep to be living up top. Like, how could you do that when I've been given every opportunity and have not been able to make good use of it? That is something to consider for yourself. In the end of the day gonna end. That's what they say, right? And thinking about the silo specifically, it's just like, wow, it is not only the metaphorical ideas of hierarchy, but the literal ideas of hierarchy that are baked in simply based off what floor you live on in the thing and the job you have and people's, I would say, understanding and respect for the thing it is that you do, that you bring to society. Everybody brings something. Everybody has some value. Whether or not they have value to you based off what you believe about someone with whatever position they have, that's a you thing. That's not a them thing. And if somebody is judging you of what they believe they have that you do not, that is the moment for you to go ahead and pick into one of the 4 agreements, which is to not take it personally. When someone is talking all that spit, it very rarely has anything to do with you and has everything to do with them. They are fighting with who they aren't because they aren't you and they don't know what they are. All work helps the whole. Unless the whole, your whole personality, your whole self-esteem is how you're better than someone else, sans roots within you. If your thing is rooted in what you're not rooted in you. You're rooted in someone else. So, some people would say maybe it's not that deep, and maybe I'd agree. But in this case, I don't know. Is it not that deep? Go ahead and leave your comments for me in the comment section. I am very interested to know, do you feel like when you reflect upon yourself that you have found things to separate you out from the pack because that is the only thing that you feel like you have to shine on? Let me know in the comments. Remember, discourse, not disrespect. Keep the disrespect on your page, not on mine. I am Dr. Donna Oriello. This has been the Daily Donna, and I will see you tomorrow for another conversation with a slightly therapeutic edge, though we'll be bringing Is It Not That Deep as a regular program return. All right, I'm out. Bye.